Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is season 7, episode 11. 7-11, get it? Overall, it's 286 episodes. I'm Craig.
I'm Sinch.
And Sinch, you're back with me again. Hooray.
I never left.
Sinch never left. Ever.
I was here the whole time.
He's been waiting on hold for the last week.
Thank God you're back. It's dark in here.
You should turn a light on. Britt is not with us this week. It's his anniversary, so happy birthday. Wow. It's his anniversary, so happy anniversary to Britt there.
Yes, happy birthday on your anniversary.
You know what? I bet some people do get married on their birthday. I bet it happens.
Can't forget it then.
It's true. That's true. And then though it'd be really sad if your spouse forgot both, though, I guess. Yeah.
When we were talking about getting married, my wife said, "When do you want to do it?" And I said, "How about 11/11?" And she said, "Okay." And I was like, "Well, I was only kidding, but yeah, okay. Let's do it."
See, and now you don't forget.
Forget what?
Exactly. And before we forget, let's start where we always start. Cinch, what are you drinking?
I am already drinking a Southern Tier Caramel Pumpkin.
Ooh, very nice.
It's good, but you know what? A little too much caramel. If you like caramel, this one's for you. For me, it's like the only thing I taste. I don't taste pumpkin.
Okay. So is it like overly sweet? You think? Or
No, not really, but
okay.
I don't know. I expected caramel pumpkin. All I get is caramel. It's good. Not knocking it. I just need a little pumpkin in my life.
Yeah, no, I get you. And you know what? I'm right there with you for what I'm drinking. I have a bottle of Elysian Dark O' the Moon pumpkin stout. This one's good. I mean, the pumpkino is my favorite from them, but this one is good. It's it's just a dark pumpkin stout. It's pretty straightforward. But I like it. It's enjoyable. And a cool thing, this, like, they use this, the standard size, bottles, right? Not the like giant craft bottles or like the smaller little stubby bottles. And a while ago, Laura got me these like beer chillers that you put in the freezer, and I guess they're stainless steel, I suppose, but you put them in the bottle so like the beer stays cold, and like it actually fits this bottle, so it's nice.
Well, that's pretty cool. I just put my beer in the fridge and it's cool. So, but well, I mean, your way works too.
This stays cooler longer.
Well, my beer doesn't last long enough for me to worry about it getting warm.
You know what? That's a valid point for you. It's valid.
But I think that's a very cool thing you got there.
Thank you. All right, let's just move along. Do you have any burning hot takes? Anything at all?
Not questions so much as facts. I have a fact.
All right.
Dolphin running back Devin Achane.
Yep.
I think that's how you say his name.
Devin Achane. Dropped him. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Before Sunday, he had 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. So before Sunday, 9 yards. I'm just now thinking I should have written down the exact yards that he has. But in our fantasy league, he is the 6th rated running back with 53 points.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had 9 yards, and then he had such a week that moved him right up into the 6th rank. And that just goes to my point that I was making around draft time. Don't lose your mind trying to draft running backs, because the top 10 now will never be the top 10 at the end of the year.
No, very, very rarely does that happen.
It's just crazy.
It's crazy. And the same thing happened with Raheem Mostert. Same thing. I just want to temper some people's expectations that both running backs having over 100 yards and 4 touchdowns each. That is not going to continue to happen.
Can I do something crazy and out of order?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, here's my final thought. but it won't be
Wow.
my final thought because, we're doing crazy and out of order. My
Okay.
final thought is last week I was here and I told you dump Mike Evans. See if you could trade him off. He's not going to last. Sell high while he's still there getting points for you. This week, Raheem Mostert. It's time to sell. He'll never have a game like that again. Get whatever you can get for him. He's the number one rated running back. It's not going to last. He's not going to stay number one. And he's 31 years old. A Chain is 21 years old. He's 10 years younger.
He is, and a Chain already has had a shoulder issue and a concussion issue in preseason. So, you know what?
Well,
enjoy the ride while it lasts.
I have Jeff Wilson on my bench. He's on IR right now, but he's, I think, the third running back on the Dolphins.
And you know what? In a couple weeks, he could be starting. So,
I have one more crazy other fact for you, if you don't mind.
No, go right ahead.
So, Mike White last week, the backup quarterback to Tua, got into the game and threw 2 passes in that game.
Mm-hmm.
He outscored Ryan Tannehill, Zach Wilson, and Daniel Jones for the week with his 2 passes.
Oh, man, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll tell you, the Dolphins are the team right now.
You know, here's my burning hot take that people are going to get mad about, and I personally don't care. To me, the way people are reacting about the Dolphins, like the last 3 weeks about the Dolphins, and I am not saying they are not talented. They're not a talented team, but I think people need to take a step back slightly because they're turning into the AFC version of the Cowboys. They won games against teams who are not good. What are you proving? It's the same thing happens with Dallas. Every year Dallas fans are like, "Oh my god, we're the greatest team ever," because, they beat the Giants. They whoop-de-doo. Let me see. The Dolphins beat the Chargers, who, if I gave them a 21-point lead, put paper bags over the other team's heads, they would still manage to lose. Week 2, and I'm sorry, they played Mac Jones.
I'm sorry.
Week 3, they played Denver, who, honest to God, I don't think by the end of this season, anyone starting for Denver is going to start or be playing for Denver next year.
I think the Denver defense was on a bye.
They might have been. They might have been. And now I know the Dolphins offense is extremely talented, and I get that, and I know that. I realize that. But let's just take it down a notch a little bit and then just see how the rest of the season goes. Because if they go through what the Cowboys go through, I'm not gonna let anyone live it down. I'm just saying.
Fox News headlines, Craig says Dolphins are no 07 Patriots.
Wait, what happened to the 07 Patriots?
Nothing bad. Everything was nice.
Oh, wait. Was that the year they went undefeated and then lost?
They went undefeated. Everything was very nice. They were all very happy. There were no injuries. They all took a knee and prayed and held hands, and everybody was happy.
So, I mean, really, that's my burning hot take. I know people aren't going to agree with me. You know what? That's how I see it, and that's how I'm going with it.
Okay, one more.
Yeah,
one more,
sure,
since
go
you're
ahead.
dying to hear my insane did you know facts.
Go ahead.
So the Dolphins this season have gained 726 yards.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm sorry, not the season. That was this Sunday. They've outscored the Jets and the Titans, who only have 700. The Jets have 675. The Titans have 720 yards for the season. The Dolphins had more this week than the Jets have had in 3 games, or the Titans in 3 games. This past Sunday, the Titans had 94 yards offense. Combined, quarterback, running back, 94 yards.
That's bananas. Yeah, some offenses haven't really clicked, and the Jets, I don't know. The Jets is just before we get into America's favorite game and our Well, we don't have the metric this week, so we're just gonna have to base it off feeling like like we have in the past. But I don't understand. I mean, I know Simeon was a Jet for a year. And they probably signed him for cheap, but come on, Carson Wentz called them, said, "Hey, I'll play for you," and they said no.
Well, I mean, what does that tell you? That he's out there and he's begging the Jets, and the Jets say, "No, we're okay."
No, because the Jets said they're going to stick with Zach Wilson. That's their official
all right.
statement.
See, here's the thing. I'm going to give Coach Saleh a break because what else is he going to say?
No,
I mean,
well, I mean, I
he
know,
can't say Wilson sucks.
He has to say it, but I'm saying the people above him are telling him to say that. So that means the people above him, like the GM, don't want to admit that they made a gigantic mistake with Zach Wilson. Humongous mistake with Zach
I'll
Wilson.
tell you, the game is that the Sunday night game? I think they are. Oh yeah, Sunday night game
against
is
the
Chiefs at the Jets.
Yes,
that's the game to watch. I'm putting a stone cold lead pipe prediction lock that you're going to see Tim Doyle. I think that's his name, or is it Boyle? You're going to see a guy named Tim come in the game at some point as quarterback of the Jets, because if the Chiefs don't lose focus, I mean, the Jets players were fighting on the sidelines and fighting with each other and the coaches, and it's just it's getting ugly fast, and I can't help being amused by it.
No, I mean it's amusing. I expect stuff like that to happen in Buffalo too at some point, but it happened pretty quick with the Jets this season. I mean, it's so bad to the point where like Aaron Rodgers has to like go on the Pat McAfee show to like publicly say something to his team about how they're acting on the sideline. So it's bad. It's bad.
The problem is Rodgers wasn't there for the last 2 seasons, so he didn't see what the fan base had to go through. He didn't see how bad Zach Wilson was.
Well,
so
the Jets beat him in Lambeau last year.
I have no recollection of last season.
I mean,
I believe you. I believe you, but I don't remember. I'm just saying this isn't the Jet fans seeing 3 bad games from a quarterback and losing their mind. This is year 3, I think. Yeah, year 3 of, oh my God, I can't believe 2nd overall pick in the draft, and this guy can't do anything.
Like literally nothing.
4th and 10. 4th quarter, end of the game, 4th and 10. Here's a 1-yard dump off pass to my tight end. I mean, come on. Throw a punt up in the air, and who knows, maybe you get a catch, a penalty, anything.
All right. So it was 2021 draft class. Let's see who the Jets could have taken instead.
Well, they could have had anybody.
They could have.
Except Lawrence.
Except Lawrence. But here are the other options they could have taken. They could have taken Trey Lance. They could have taken Kyle Pitts. They could have taken Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Sewell, Jace Horn. Does he still play? I think he does. They could have taken Patrick Surtain, or Devonta Smith, or Justin Fields, or Micah Parson.
Ooh, that's the guy. Stop right there. They could have had him.
They could have.
I don't know if they need a quarterback with him in their defense.
They probably wouldn't have. And then after that, there's
Mac Jones. They could still have him. Would you like Mac Jones? I've got to bring it up before you do. How many cheap shot, this guy is a jerk things have to happen involving Mac Jones before the NFL just says, look, 1 game suspension. You douche. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. He kicks and punches people in the groin on purpose.
I mean, come on. It's embarrassing.
You know what? Like the first time I saw him kick somebody, I was like, all right, because he was like rolling around and like maybe it was an accident.
Well, he like slid and his leg kicked off.
Yeah,
I'll give you a break. That could happen.
That could happen, especially when you're running that fast. Fine, but the other, like I think this is like the 5th time it's happened, 4th time. That's on purpose. Like, what are you doing?
It's embarrassing.
What are you doing? So, you know what? I mean, looking at it, man, the Jets should have just taken Trey Lance. Literally,
You think
actually,
it would be any different?
you know what? We can't be overcritical of Trey Lance because he did break himself very early. So I don't know. Maybe.
Well, the best ability is availability, and he ain't got that.
Damn.
And when he did have his very small opportunity, he didn't do anything to impress.
Nope. And now he's a cowboy. He's a cowboy.
I'd like to make my weekly, somewhat annual. Hey, what's going on with Fields? Fields is like the 5th-rated quarterback going into the draft. What's going on? Fields is great, right? All right, I'm done.
Okay.
Just need to get that out of my system.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but really, the Jets should have taken it on this list. They should have traded away the second pick and got like 5 more picks. That's what they should have done.
They should have then, the same way they should now, trade, tank, whatever, put yourself in a position to get the number 1 pick for next year so they could take this kid from USC.
No. The Jets cannot draft anyone else from the West Coast. No. Mark Sanchez was the last person that got them anywhere who was from the West Coast. No.
Hey, 2 AFC championship games in a row they lost.
Yeah. Very stupidly.
I like the way people bring that up on the Jets side. Hey, they made it to 2 AFC championship games. Well, yeah, but they lost. I mean,
they did.
That's good. No, that's good. That's an accomplishment.
You know what it is?
It's 2 in a row.
It's how they lost. Really, it's just
just losing in the playoffs. It doesn't even matter how. But yeah, I get your point. But yeah.
Anyway,
well, what are you gonna do?
You know what we're gonna do now, though?
What?
We're gonna play America's favorite game.
Yay!
Yep, and this week it's Cinch's turn again to guess America's favorite game. And quick reminder, that's where we pick the overs and unders of the week. Well, the games over 50 and games under 40 or under 40. This way, if DFS, you probably want to use people in games over 50. Maybe avoid players who are in games at 40 or under. So and Cinch will have to pick both. He gets 3 strikes for each. And let me double check because this actually might be a quick game because I'm using DraftKings line here. Let me I refresh the page. Let's see. Wow. Actually, those are close. Man. Okay, there are no games under 40.
Okay.
There is 1 game over 54. Now, I will say this if you want to guess. The games that are at the very bottom of the over-under list, there are 3 games at 40 and a half. I'll give you the option and guess them if you want.
I will take that option.
Okay. All right.
40 and a half.
Yep. There are 3 games at 40 and a half, and there's 1 game at over 50.
My first guess is the toilet bowl of all toilet bowls.
Yeah.
The Broncos at the Bears.
That is incorrect.
How could that be incorrect?
It is a 45 and a half as of right now.
Who is going to score in that game? That's
Justin
not a
Fields.
hypothetical. I mean, who is going to score?
Justin Fields is going to rush for 800 yards and 15 touchdowns by himself.
Was he concussed last week?
Yes.
So is he playing, or does that mean he's out?
I haven't checked. I can try to check now. Yeah, he didn't know where he was, and DJ Moore had to point him to the sideline.
I saw that clip, and I think what I have heard so far 3 weeks into the season, when a player goes into the concussion protocol, they automatically miss the next game. So I think he's out.
They have to now.
And maybe that's how they score points. I'm not saying it's his fault, but a lot of times when you see a quarterback not performing, it doesn't mean that there isn't a receiver open. It's just by the time the quarterback sees it, throws it, and the ball gets there, he's no longer open.
That's true, and I think that's what we've been saying is Fields' biggest issue is his first option isn't there. It takes him too long to check down, and by the time he does, it's way past the time that they're open, and then he has to run or throw the ball away or
I
force it.
can't believe that wasn't an under.
That's not no. Sorry. All right, sir. Guess again.
Boy. Okay, well, let's try doing it another way.
Okay.
Is the Chiefs Jets one of these low unders? Because if the Chiefs score and the Jets don't,
Uh, it's a low under, but it's not 40.5. So I'll give you a hint.
son of a bitch.
So that's my hint of the week. It is not the Chiefs.
Are we?
Do you want to
are we
guess?
thinking?
Do you want to guess the over to get it out of the way?
The over's got to be the easy one. It's the game of the week that everybody wants to see. The Dolphins at the Bills has got to be the over.
That is correct. That is a 54.
So what that means, your DFS lineup, you want to have a Dolphin or a Bill or multiple in
or
your
both.
in your
one
lineup.
Of each.
Yes.
One of each.
Maybe just do a whole team with that one game.
You can do that.
I don't. Could you see that being a low scoring game? I think it's more likely 38-35.
Honestly, they're playing in Buffalo, so I think that's really going to depend on the weather.
Well, this time of year in Buffalo, it's 1:00 in Buffalo. It's going to be worst case scenario, low 50s, but maybe upper 40s. It'll be fine.
Sunny and like mid 60s. So.
Oh, see, that's Buffalo has got to be pissed off because Buffalo would like to have the Dolphins in there on a Sunday night or Monday night in December, not 1:00. 1:00 October 1st.
Yeah, no, you are definitely right on that. Okay.
Wow, these unders.
Yeah.
Let's go with a defensive guess. Could it be Ravens at the Browns?
Ravens in the Brown. You are correct. That is a 40.5.
Whew, okay. How many more left are there?
There are 2 more at 40.5.
I'm going to go all the way across the pond with my next guest, the Falcons at the London Jaguars.
That is incorrect. That is a 43.
Huh. I don't want to play anymore.
Wow. I mean, you have more strikes.
It's just it's right there.
I told you it's hard. This is a hard one.
All right. I'm not going to the Seahawks Giants Monday night. I think that'll be higher. I tried the Chiefs. I was wrong. I mean, Cardinals 49ers?
Cardinals 49ers is incorrect. That's a 44.
Correct. Son of a bitch. I don't know. All right. Here's a stinker, but I'm interested. Well, you know what? I found a better stinker.
Okay.
Here's a better stinker.
Yeah.
This one is not equal to the Broncos giving up 70 points against the Bears. This one's a little bit the 0-3 Vikings at the 0-3 Panthers.
Scroll up here. That is incorrect. It's a 45.5.
Let me tell you real quick on the side here.
Yeah.
Any fantasy fan, if you're a fantasy football fan, you want the Vikings to win this game. Not that you want the Vikings to make the playoffs or do anything like that. But if the Vikings go in the tank and they even consider trading away Cousins, not that Cousins is great, but he's adequate. He could move the ball around the field. If Cousins is gone, that means that Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson are useless because they're going to have a backup quarterback, and that just hurts the fantasy world. So everyone all together, say your prayers, get the Vikings a couple of wins. We don't need Cousins traded to the Jets or traded to, somebody else who loses a quarterback. We need him to stay right where he is just for one more year.
That's right. Damn it.
Am I out of strikes? Do I have to keep guessing?
You know what?
Patriots, Cowboys.
You could get... okay.
I'm just going to read off the schedule now.
That's incorrect. That's a 43.
Son of a bitch. All right, wait, hold on. I don't think it's the Lions-Packers. I guessed the Falcons and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I guessed the Ravens Browns and I was wrong. I guessed
No,
the
no, you were
Broncos
right.
Bears.
You were right about the Ravens
Oh, I was
Browns.
right on that one. Okay, so that
Yes,
was one
yes,
of them.
yes.
Broncos Bears was wrong. Bengals Titans.
That is correct. That's a 40.5.
Whew. What do I got? One more.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
got one
right.
more. I'm
Yep.
shaking the dice in my hand. I'm rolling the dice, and I'm coming up with the Buccaneers Saints.
That is correct. That's a 40.5.
I don't
There
know
you
how many
go.
strikes I used, but there you go.
You know
I'm
what? We
done
won't
now.
count it this week, but you're good. Yeah, that this week was difficult. It is difficult. So
But interesting games
yeah.
like the Lions Packers. I think that'll be a good game. And then
Yeah.
are you a London watching football fan for the 9:30 game, or do you
Uh,
not like that?
if I'm awake and coherent, I'll watch it. I'll like turn it on when I remember it's on that early. I mean, really, if you think about it, that's what it's like watching football on the West Coast.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
So that game, according to what I'm looking at, is on ESPN Plus.
Okay.
Do do
Yes.
do I have that? Is that
Do you
It's
have
not
it?
regular ESPN. I mean,
No. Do you have the Hulu Disney ESPN package?
I do.
Then you
Well, I
have
have the
ES.
Hulu Disney. I think I
Okay.
have the ESPN, but I never like downloaded it because fuck ESPN.
Wow.
Excuse me, fuck
Wow.
ESPN.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Um. Just because they said some things about Tom Brady's balls, I know it's all right. Um.
They have some nerve.
Then yes, if you have that package, you do have ESPN Plus. So I would recommend at least putting
So
it on your iPad or your phone or something so you can watch stuff.
so it's just the streaming channel, or is ESPN Plus like
So what
like I have
happens
DirecTV?
is
Should that be on DirecTV or no?
no, I think it's only through the app or through like the website. I don't think it's on the
Damn it, I
TV.
won't get to see Ritter throw incomplete passes.
Yeah, you download it so you have the ESPN app, and then Plus is like a section of it. So the 30 for 30 stuff is good.
Yes, it is.
That is
A
good.
lot of it is very interesting.
It is. It is. You know what else is interesting?
No, tell me.
Betting. Betting it
Yes,
is
it is.
interesting. So this is a little segment we added where we just, you know what? We bet on, stuff and not just do DFS. So we're like, you know what? Let's share some of the things that we bet on. So we have another pick from the source. So this week, let me read you what the secret message that the source sent. There's lots to consider this week, and the spreads are getting smaller and smaller. So he's staying with moneyline favorites. So this week, he is going with the money line on San Francisco, Kansas City, and Cincinnati. And if you want, right now, I think it's a plus 147 for that. And if you want to add a little spice to it, he does like Baltimore. So he's taking Baltimore with an alternate spread of plus 4.5. And he's doing the total points over 45.5. And then also, if you want a little extra spice, he said he's going to add the Eagles to the money line parlay to make it 200. So
Plus 200.
plus 200. So is there anyone that you are looking at this week? Do you like anything this week? Nothing at all?
I like nothing.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair too.
I have to wait.
Sinch is an in-game better.
I made a bet. I talk about something else and I'll find it.
Oh yeah,
I
so
didn't have it
betting
open,
because
and
just because I like to reminisce about things. Someone texted me in one of the leagues I'm in, and I really don't talk to him like much throughout the year until this, time of the year. And one of the last things I sent him last year, because I scrolled up in our conversation after he messaged me today, was the giant parlay I did, where I just needed Tooney to catch a touchdown, and it didn't happen. So I got to see the screenshot again, and I was so overly thrilled. so thrilled. Do you want to know what? You know what? I need to say it out loud. I'll tell you what was in this parlay and how insane the fact that him not getting a touchdown is what didn't work. You ready? Ready for this?
Go ahead.
Mahomes plus 300 yards. Derrick Henry plus 100 yards. The Titans plus 12.5. Patrick Mahomes anytime touchdown scorer. Titans total points first half over 7.5. Derrick Henry anytime touchdown scorer. Kadarius Toney anytime touchdown scorer. And that is the one that did not work.
It was going to be a good one.
If I won that, yes, it was going to be very good.
Yeah, it was going to be a good one.
It was.
So
okay,
I'm happy we got onto the gambling. Last week, I told you how I won everything and how wonderful and smart I was.
Yes.
Well, that was last week.
What happened this week?
This past week, everything changed.
This past week, Vegas was like, haha, no.
That's what gambling is like. So I had a bet. I had a 3-team parlay bet where I had the Eagles winning and whatever the points, I can't remember. The Patriots winning, and I don't remember what the points I had. And I had the Packers to win the game.
Okay. This is all on one parlay.
So the Packers are the 1:00 game, and the other two games are later.
Okay.
It was 4:00 and 8:00.
Uh-huh.
Packers are down 17-0. I said, you know what? Let me just cash out. And I cashed out. Uh-huh. Packers came back and won the game. Patriots won. Mm-hmm. Eagles won. Mm-hmm. That one bet would have put me on the plus side for the whole week. Instead, I'm mad at the world, and I didn't bet on the Sunday night or Monday night games because I was mad at the world.
Mm-hmm. No, I get you.
But I got my bet for tomorrow. So here's my bet for tomorrow.
All right, what's tomorrow?
I've got the Packers winning. I've got the total for the game over 46.5. And the third one, which I just like because it's goofy, the final score will be an odd number. Combined the two teams, the final score.
What is that craziness?
I like that. With the odds boost, I got plus 767 on that. So, if it's a competitive game and the Packers win, and competitive with scoring, then it's just a matter, is it odd or even? And, plus 767. It's not bad.
Interesting.
So, $10 pays 88 and change.
Why? You know what I wish like DraftKings and FanDuel would do? You know how like you make a parlay and then it says like you can't combine one of your bets? I wish it would tell you which bet you can't use. Because when that happens to me, like I wind up just going back and deleting it and starting over. Because I'm not paying attention.
I do the same thing.
I'm not paying attention to like what I add when, so I'm like, crap. I don't know what to do. Let me see now. Really, let's see here. If we put everything on the sources into one parlay, let's see what it comes out to here. I just have to add. He said under 45.5. So let's see over. All right. So if you add the Chiefs money line, 49ers money line, the Bengals money line, the Eagles money line, and then add in the Ravens plus 4.5 and the under being 45.5, that comes out to plus 645.
That's pretty good.
So that's
good luck with that.
So $10 will get you $74.59. If that's what
again, good luck with that. I hope that works out well for you.
All right, so I guess we should get onto some DFS picks now.
Yes, let's come up with a lineup.
Let's come up with another lineup like we did before. Let me go back to fantasy here because I'm using the website. Just go to it. I used this last week, damn it. I know where it is. Yes,
I've got a lineup.
Oh, you have a lineup. Well, all right.
I have a lineup. I've made a lineup.
All right, remember, we can't do a full lineup, technically.
Oh, I can do a full lineup. I
Oh,
just can't say it out loud.
Exactly.
But I've got a full lineup. And let me tell you, I made a lineup
Yep.
this week where I'm using McCaffrey and Adams and Diggs, and I've made it all fit under a salary cap.
That is rather impressive.
I'm pretty happy with myself.
All right, so let's just go with I remember we do these for the main slate, so you're not going to hear like Thursday or Monday night games on these. So let's just go with quarterback first. Right now, Josh Allen is the top quarterback this week, price wise, at $8,200. That is horribly way too much for me.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say. It's just too much money.
Way too much money for a quarterback. Honestly, I'm going to go down like to the fives personally. I kind of like Brock Purdy against the Cardinals. He's only $5,900.
That's a good one. I was looking at that one. I'm not going to say who I used because we can't give the full lineup.
Okay, so you're going to skip quarterback. Okay.
2 spots lower.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback of the Rams.
Yep.
So let's go to running backs because I didn't say who I used.
You did not, but again, like if I was throw out some other names, as much as it seems weird to say this, Russell Wilson isn't having a terrible year. The Broncos are, but he's actually having a better year than last year, and he's only $5,800, and he's playing Chicago.
See, that's the thing. The Bears have like 8 guys that play defense every week. So if you're going to start, if there's a week to start them, this is the week.
This is the week. Also, I don't know. Didn't he get hurt? But there is CJ Stroud, but I don't know if didn't he get hurt last week? No, I think he's playing. He's only $5,600. So there's that.
I mixed up with the rookies. Where Stroud is Houston. No, he didn't get hurt. I don't think so.
No, he's in Houston.
Yeah, I think he's okay.
All right. I just assume everyone's hurt now, really.
Well, everyone's day to day.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so on to running back. The top running back this week, according to DraftKings, is, as you would expect, Christian McCaffrey. He is $9,200. That is, he's playing Arizona, but that is horribly, terribly expensive. You can use him, but, you're going to have to make cuts in several other spots.
See, here's the key, I think, in making a DFS lineup.
Mm-hmm.
We use the metric and we come up with the guy who's going to give 3x value.
Yes.
And you need that. You need to find, I don't know, what do you think? 3 or 4 of those guys in your lineup? You need them.
Yes.
But if you made a full lineup with just guys like that, it's too hit or miss. You're not going to hit the big number. So you've got to be able to pick that one guy that you're going to overspend on that's going to deliver.
Yeah, you do need 1 or 2 anchors. You just can't do it a lot, or then you won't be able to afford anything after 3 spots.
This week for me, it's McCaffrey because we're getting there. We're in week 4. If you have McCaffrey and you have enough guts to trade him, that's a gutsy thing to do. I cannot see him performing for 15, 16, 17 weeks. I just can't see. Don't you think they should almost like give him a month off just because?
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe they should give him the week before and after the bye week off.
Well, it's like, look, they're playing Arizona this week. Don't you think they could beat Arizona without him? And, I'm just saying, San Francisco, look at your schedule and manage him so that he's there on November 1st and December 1st and January 1st and I don't know when the Super Bowl, February 1st.
So it's almost you want to put him on a football version of a pitch count, is what you're saying.
Yes, because it's not fair to him because he's still a young guy. He's in his 20s and he thinks he could play every week. But the way he runs the ball,
it's scary.
This guy, he is not lacking for courage. He just runs and jumps and flies through the air with the greatest of ease and I don't know.
Yeah. Going down the list, if I'm looking at like a handful of people that I would consider taking. I'd be looking at, say, like James Cook. He's 6,300. A little bit if he's playing. I don't mind him before the price is James Conner because he's $5,900. You know, if hypothetically, if Arizona keeps it semi-close, maybe.
Yeah, but against the San Francisco defense, that's the part
problem.
That, I don't know.
Again, and then this is also painful. Javonte Williams is playing the Bears. The Bears' run defense. The Bears' run defense is ranked last.
He is someone who, if I were to pick a second guy, I might consider him strongly.
Yep. And the other person I like this week, I kind of been a fan of his since he's been a rookie, is Dameon Pierce. Reason being, right, for this week, he's only $5,100, and Houston is playing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is also not very good.
Well, yeah, but don't you get the feeling that Pittsburgh has a good defense even when they don't?
No.
Your division bias is showing.
Maybe a little bit with them, yes. Yeah, I'll give you
that. They do have a Watt there who is always in consideration for defensive MVP at the end of the season. I'm not, you know what? That's not a bad play. And there might be a player or two that I would consider on Houston's lineup this week. I'm just throwing it out there that, Pittsburgh, good defense. Be careful.
All right. So on to a receiver. And as everyone has expected, the top receiver this week is Justin Jefferson at $9,600. Under him is Tyreek Hill, who is $9,200. And then we finally get to the eights with Stephon Diggs, who is $8,100. I'm not big on those three, mainly because of the price. Carolina's defense is semi-decent. The Bills' defense is typically good. Hill's going to have, I don't remember his name. The Bills have a corner or safety that's pretty good.
Poyer.
Thank you. It's really hard.
Is that the guy you were thinking of?
Maybe. I'm really terrible with defensive players' names.
Well, he is a safety on the Bills.
It might be him. That might be what I'm thinking of. If I'm looking at maybe going semi-chalk-ish this week, I'm probably looking at Devonta Smith. He's 7,500, playing Washington, divisional game, which is scary, but they're still Washington. I mean, they're okay, but they're not.
Hey, they're 2-1.
They're not the Eagles. Also, what is good, even though it hurt me, and God, was I mad that he was playing because he was limping while he was playing, Burrow seemed to start to click with the offense. Jamar Chase finally got into a game. So that does look good for the Bengals. Not good that he was limping because that is very scary. Even T. Higgins got some looks, and he dropped several passes he could have caught. So that's another issue. But Jamar Chase is 7,000. I might go there as a chalk play.
Let me jump in for a second.
Yeah,
as a Bengals fan,
yes.
Do you want Burrow to play?
I'm torn about it because yes, I do because he is good. I don't because his injury has clearly affected his throwing ability. And if he hurts it again, he's going to miss a giant chunk of the middle of the season. That is my concern.
I get the feeling.
So I'm conflicted.
I get the feeling if they won another game, maybe they won 2 games and now they're 3-2. Maybe they shut them down then.
If they give him the week off before the bye week, they play the Seahawks. If they can win the next couple weeks and then get to the Seahawks game, just give him the week off and then go into the bye week and then they come back for San Francisco, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, there's no guarantee that if he takes off a month that he's just going to be healed and fine and ready to go.
Right, exactly.
And that's the scary part because he could take the time off, come back, and on the first snap, tear it up, and he's done for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame him for playing. It's just, man, it's tough.
It's tough, and you can clearly see that at times he's very uncomfortable, either like kind of trying to scramble or trying to like plant his foot, and his throws are just off. So
Yeah, he can't. He doesn't have the same stride. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I don't blame him.
yeah. No, I mean, if your brain is expecting you to do something, your body's like, no, no, you're gonna lose. So, um,
Hmm.
going down the list, there's always Mike Evans, Cinch's favorite player. He's 7,000. I'm not touching that at all. Going down a little bit to save some money. I'm a big fan of Michael Pittman Jr. this year, and he's only $6,500. I might look there. Brandon Ayuk, if he plays, I think is good because he's $6,200, and Debo is injured. He hurt his knee and his ribs, and I don't know if he's playing this week. So if Debo is not playing, Ayuk could be a good pick. How do you feel
Yeah,
about receivers?
Debo's the kind of guy that he's on the injury report every week, and more often than not, he plays.
True.
He's a very little guy. He's not a thick, muscular. I mean, he's muscular, and if he was standing on side of me, he would intimidate the hell out of me. But when you look at him on the TV, he looks like a very thin, small guy.
Yeah,
I would have no
he is not
problem
DK
using Debo.
Metcalf.
And look, as big and muscle and strong as he is, it looked like he broke a couple of ribs when he got hit. Was that this week or last week? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
maybe.
He got
I
hit
don't
like
know.
right by the goal line, right in the ribs. And well, anyway, moving on. Wide receivers. I told you that I used a lot of money on Adams and I used a lot of money on Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you got to come up with someone who you don't use a lot of money on. And speaking of little guys, I went to little 5'8", I think he is, Tank Dell, with the Houston Texans, and he was. I already changed it, but I think it was like 4,600, something like that. I already submitted and moved on, but he's a guy I picked.
Nice. Yeah, he's a rookie this year, right? Yeah, he is.
Yes, he is. He has a good connection with his rookie quarterback.
All right. On to tight end. Tight end this week, it's like, you know what, tight end defense is almost the same every week. I mean, right
Yes.
now, Hawkinson is the top tight end at $6,500. If you want to use Hawkinson, you're gonna have to find like the cheapest receiver you can to kind of take the brunt of the $6,500.
Yes.
So you could use him. Andrews is 5,400 playing Cleveland, so it's a weird divisional game. Kittle,
And he hasn't really performed yet this year.
he hasn't. The Ravens' offense is very blah this year compared to other years. Like, I don't think Lamar has the same like pep in his step as he used to. Kittle's 51. Taysom Hill, he's $5,400, so it's still a little pricey. I do sort of like Hunter Henry, kinda, but he's $4,300, and I just don't know. I just don't know. So, do you have any inkling of where people should go this week for tight end?
Tight end is very much a position that I'm going to spend very little money on. That's how I can afford McCaffrey and two big money receivers. If you want to spend a little bit, I like Taysom Hill. Tampa Bay's got a pretty good defense, but Hill is lining up at running back. He could throw the ball. He's a tight end. I mean, he does everything. One of these weeks, he's a good best ball guy because one of these weeks he's going to have like 35. It's just picking him on that week.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to use Henry, what you're saying is you think the Patriots will beat the Cowboys this week. I don't. I think Henry is good for 3 or 4 catches for 40 or 50 yards. That's not going to really get you much. You could do the same thing with a guy that's way less expensive. So tight end, Donald Parham is 2,800. He's a Chargers tight end, and all he does is catch a touchdown a game. But, touchdown a game, he costs 2,800. That pretty much gives you 3x.
Yeah, I can see that. And then on to defense. As we say, just almost like tight end is to pick one. This week for defenses, I kind of like the Colts against the Rams. They're $2,900. Maybe a little bit cheaper. The Browns against Baltimore, they're $2,800. But that's really, if you want to pick the lowest ranked defense, or it's the Cardinals, they're $2,200. You can hope they do something against San Francisco. So there's that.
What I like to do with defense is I just go to the least expensive and look from the bottom up, and I look for a team that I think will get turnovers against the team they're playing. I wouldn't think the Cardinals are going to turn over Purdy or the Niners because they're pretty good handling the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's what I do. That's how I pick a defense.
That works. That definitely works. And I think we've come to the end because we've been talking for almost an hour.
Dicker the kicker. I know we don't pick kickers, but
you know what? The announcers say that every week.
How could you not?
I mean, I guess you have to, right?
That's all that people call him. He didn't even want to be a kicker. It's just with a name like Dicker. Dicker the accountant doesn't sound right.
That's true. You are not wrong.
Puka Nakua.
That's another good one.
Oh, I don't even know what that means. I just like to say that. It's like Hakuna Matata.
All
Puka
right,
Nakua.
so I can't. So before we go, I'm not going to say the lineup I just made, but who should I put in this flex spot? And I'll tell you like the top few people. Okay.
Okay.
Because I only have $6,800. So it's T. Higgins, Puka Nuka. I just said that really wrong. Jerry Jeudy.
Puka Nakua.
Thank you. Raheem Mostert, T.J. Hawkinson, Chris Godwin, Joe Mixon, and Stevenson.
Wow, too many names. I wouldn't use Mostert because
Okay.
I think that becomes a track meet where it's a lot of passing and less running. So that's my thinking for Mostert.
Okay.
Could be Hawkinson. Who are the Vikings are playing the Chargers. They have a terrible defense.
Yep.
I would not use any Bengals players. It's just you don't know what you're getting with Burrow.
Yep. No, you're
He
right.
could go out there and play, or he could get knocked out in the first play.
Yep.
So I wouldn't use any Bengals. I don't remember anyone else you said, so I guess
Puka, Jerry Jeudy, Hawkinson, Chris Godwin, and Stevenson of your Patriots.
I wouldn't use Stevenson. He's shown nothing so far.
Right.
Jeudy, maybe they're playing against the Bears and they have a bad defense. And like we were saying, if Russell Wilson's ever going to have a good week, it would have to be this week.
True.
I think I might go with Hawkinson. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I like that. I like it.
It could work.
It could work. All right. So, any final thoughts for you this week, sir? Even though I know you said your final thought before, but you have another final thought.
Trade Mostert. My final thought is be bold when others are fearful and fearful when others are bold. That's my final thought.
That was deep. My final thought is it's week 4. Going to be week 4, right? Yeah. Pay attention to injury reports. You definitely should pay attention to injury reports, especially on Sunday morning. That's my final thought and reminder.
And when it comes to gambling, do it in the third quarter because that's when you're going to make your most money. That's
when Sinch wins all of his money. Usually, sometimes, most of the time.
That's when Sinch is desperately reaching to win back anything that he lost in the first half when he made his bets before the game started, and it's oh crap, let me double down, let me try and hedge my bet. Oh please.
Exactly.
If I win this one, I'll never gamble again.
I promise. Yeah.
Craig, do you have a final thought?
No, my final thought was check injury reports.
Okay.
That was my final thought, really, just because it's definitely that time of year, and so you definitely want to check that before game starts. But you can check. Yes. What? Who?
What? No. What else can you check?
You can also check on how to leave a review for a podcast, especially on Apple iTunes or wherever else you listen to this. The multiple players we're on, even though there are players closing down and moving around, like YouTube announced they are taking down Google Podcasts and moving everything to YouTube Music. So we'll see how that works out. So, Sinch, thank you again for joining me. I much appreciate it.
It's always my pleasure to be here. Thank you for asking.
Oh, thank you. And thank you to my cat for meowing near the end of this. I don't know if you can hear her, but I can.
I heard. And there she goes again.
Yeah. Thank you again.
You know, I speak cat.
Oh, do
you know what your cat is saying?
She's saying open the damn door. Is what she's saying.
No, your cat is saying, "Hi, Deb." That's what your cat is saying.
You know what?
Saying, "Don't forget to say hi to Deb."
You know what? You're probably right. Damn. And on that note, folks, thank you again for joining us. I'm Craig.
I'm Sinch.
And this has been another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast.